I subscribe to a protein shake. It's called Kachava. It only lasts 30 days.
Show us the stuff, man. Show what you got going. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's for another day. That's for another time.
This is Outside the Box with Ascendia USA, a podcast educating U.S.-based brands, marketplaces, and e-tailers on international shipping topics and how they can expand their global e-commerce footprint.
Welcome back to part 2 of our episode talking about the subscriber experience from Outside the Box with Ascendia USA podcast with our special guests, John Haji and John Rowland.
Yeah, so one of the things Nick and I were talking about in preparing to meet with you guys today was on subscription boxes specifically. So the way I think about it, if I put an order in, if I'm working on my car in the yard here and I need to get a part for a car and I'm waiting on that part to come, delivery time matters to me, delivery day matters to me, how that item sticks to that SLA matters to me, right? But when it comes to a subscription box model where I get a delivery once a month of 30 things that are going to last me throughout the month, or if it's more of a BattlBox method where it's 10 or 15, 20 items that I'm now going to add to my repertoire of items for survival or for camping or whatever it is. The delivery date might not matter as much there, right? Because it's saying I'm just getting my monthly stipend, I'm getting my monthly subscription, I'm adding it to my repertoire of things I have.
It 100% matters.
Yeah, it 100% matters. It does. But so do you see more of, I guess the question is from the subscriber space, what matters more for you guys? Is it time? Is it delivery day? Is it visibility? Is it tracking? So if you had to make your perfect scenario, what are the things that you would be able to provide to your customers for post-purchase experience?
Yeah. So time and tracking, visibility, right? So yes, it's the membership that we do is a subscription box. So it's ends up about 7 to 8 items, but it's a drop model. Everyone is getting the same thing. So time and delivery matter greatly because it's the model of discovery and mystery. Everybody needs to get their box around the same time, because if someone gets it wildly late, the surprise is ruined. Part of that experience of finding out what's in the latest drop is lost. So it matters greatly. So timing, delivery, tracking. I think consumers are typically, if they have the information, it's acceptable if something goes awry, right? If tracking is taking an extra 2 days, but they have the visibility on tracking and what's going on, I think in today's day and age, they're not going to blame the brand immediately, right? There's a little bit of leniency if the information is at least being provided.
Heading to SubSummit in Dallas from May 28th to 30th? Seize the opportunity to supercharge your global e-commerce expansion. Book a one-on-one hosted meeting session with Nick Agnetti, Enterprise Sales Executive at Ascendia USA, and uncover strategies to seamlessly grow your business into Mexico, Canada, and beyond. Don't miss your chance to break into new markets and grow your Subbox business to the next level.
Yeah, well, what kind of impact do you guys see that delivery experience having on your subscriber churn, right? So there must be, people that drop in, drop out based on one bad experience, maybe. So do you see that people have a tolerance for it, or is it kind of I gave it one shot and now I'm out?
So we've had ebbs and flows through the 10 years we've done this on what that experience looks like. It's a great experience now. But I can say with certainty when the experience was not great, it was a dumpster fire, right? Churn was bad. No one was coming back. Retention was not good, and it goes down to John Haji and I were chatting about it yesterday. You kind of hinted on it. It's the visibility, the experience. I remember there was a decent period of time where they would get the initial scan when it hit Canada from the US, and then they wouldn't get scans at all and then we get a final scan when it was basically on last mile and out for delivery. So if you're talking, East Coast to West Coast of Canada, you might be talking 4 days easy.
Right.
Oh my gosh, at least, yes.
Yeah, you can only deal with that for so much, right? And then you're like, well, why does Amazon get it to me so quickly and give me visibility?
Yeah.
So,
you have to remember too, like when somebody checks out on a product, like the whole post-checkout anxiety kicks in. Right now they're in this like waiting zone. They're like, okay, I'm waiting for my package. So it's extremely important. And to allude to like what John Rowland was saying, like, especially for the boxes, the subscription boxes that are discovery and delight, timing is so important. When I was running Gentleman's Box, I can, count endless amount of times where somebody would receive a product and be wearing that product, right, and showcasing that product on their social pages, tagging Gentleman's Box, and the consumer who hasn't received the box yet sees the product and is like, oh, like I want that. That looks so good. Or why hasn't mine arrived, kind of thing, right? They don't care, and they don't understand that maybe this person lives over here, this person lives here. They just care that, like, how did that person receive it, and I haven't received it just yet.
Yeah.
So for discovery and delight, it's just so important, like delivery times. Even if you think about other products outside of the subscription box space, your health and beauty, food and beverage. I subscribe to a protein shake. It's called Kachaba. It only lasts 30 days.
Show us the stuff, man. Show what you got going. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's for another day. That's for another time.
Okay.
Like it's the servings, right? It's 30-day servings, right? So when I get to 30 days, like I'm expecting before 30 days to hit for my Kachaba to arrive, right? So delivery is super important in the subscription recurring space.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that one of the other things that feeds into that customer experience is from the company standpoint is this DDU DDP conversation, right? Going back and forth. So, Nick, do you want to get into that a little bit with the guys?
I can. Yeah. I also want to thank you guys for. Well, I want to go back. So, one of the things that because being so closely involved in the subscription, box or subscription space for so long, is the impact of community on those post-purchase experiences, right? You guys touched on it, John. I remember intimately working on some of the Gentleman's Box stuff, and just how, like, you're right. If like one guy, if a couple of these influencers posted, some stuff and there were issues in certain parts of, whether it was the country in the US or foreign where they weren't getting it, as your logistics partner at the time, and we're years, removed at this point. But, we would hear about it, or your other partners would hear about it. Right. And so I guess how important is, and I know that things have changed over the years, but in that community involvement, how important is that still today, or is it still as important as it was previously?
No, I mean, community is what builds the brand.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very important. I think Roman, you had put out a post on LinkedIn most recently speaking to the community and like the consumers that subscribe to you, and how that helps tremendously build the brand, right? And I think it's extremely important. In order to have longevity as a brand, you need to focus on building a strong community.
100%.
Okay, so Jason, you had brought up DDU versus DDP. It's like the time old talk, although, and thankfully, we are at the point now in 2025 where most people recognize the importance of DDP. And so just for clarification for viewers and listeners, DDU, DDP, delivered duties, unpaid, delivered duties, paid, or we'll use prepaid. You can use it interchangeably, right? And so we talk, and ultimately it's going to come down to customer experience. Now, with that, there's a little bit of a unique thing going on with subscription boxes because they hold multiple products, for the most part, on a whatever the cadence is, monthly, quarterly, twice a year, whatever it is. Can you guys talk about whether, talk about and I know, John Roman, you've got a unique experience today where you're actually doing in-country fulfillment, or John Haji, talk about some of your stuff from the past, perhaps, or even people that maybe you've consulted with on, the DDU versus DDP aspect. If you don't mind kind of riffing on that for a little bit, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Go and kick it off.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll go ahead and put my gentleman's box hat on first and talk about when we were initially shipping internationally, and we learned very quickly that we needed to have DDP versus DDU, right? Imagine subscribing to a box that was $25 a month and then being told you owe $20, right?
Yeah.
To actually pick up that box, right? So, and not to mention the delays that it causes. And sometimes the consumer doesn't even get notification properly from customs to let them know that their package is waiting. And if they did, maybe they miss it. And so there's a lot that goes into, and by the way, the first delivery especially is the first impression. Right? You want the peace of mind and predictability that it's going to arrive after the purchase. And so DDU is very, very important. DDP, I'm sorry, is very, very important for brands to have. Like, it reduces the customer service load because again, customers aren't writing in as often, asking where their boxes are. So that helps with the company as a whole to kind of focus on other things and not have to be overloaded with a bunch of questions on where's my box, or where's my package. Brands that offer DDP, they have the competitive edge, plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking from experience, and I feel like John and I probably had some back and forth on this, many years ago, as we were both like, going down the international route for the first time. There was a small period of time where we did DDU. We quickly found out that was not the right path, right? I mean, I think John illustrated it perfect, where if they spend $25 and they think that they're all in, they think they're done, they're waiting on their package, they're excited, they finally made the decision to pull the trigger on this brand, and now they're going to get the product, and they are told they need to pay another $20. Like, that's a horrible experience, right? And it's definitely tough when you're, and some of the ratios are sometimes like that, right? So it's really tough, even though it might not be the brand's fault per se. The lines are definitely blurry there, right? Like, because especially if they bought from someone else and not had that experience, I mean, it's quick intuition. Well, it must be the brand's decision on how they send it, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think you can recover from it. And from a, are they going to repurchase? It's highly unlikely. It's probably, single digit repurchase rates once that happens. Obviously DDP is the way to go. Just sets proper expectations, and it sets the customer up for hopefully a good experience.
I couldn't agree more. And, and for everybody listening out there or watching, I would say it's not probably, it is 100% even more important today based on the current environment than it was, let's say, back in 2018, 2019, and I can even story build on this a little bit. I've been with Ascendia a dozen years now. It's about 12 years now. When back, let's say, the first half of my tenure so far, everybody wanted DDU, and really people weren't really doing a whole lot with DDP, right? And in general, I would just say, but quickly it was, as we continue to evolve as an industry, and I say we, meaning e-commerce merchants all the way to, service providers and everything else, realizing that customer experience is so vitally important for, continued growth and recurring revenue and everything else, that having that all-in landed cost delivery option, delivery duties paid, so there's no surprises at the door. Us as Americans are a little spoiled that we typically don't get tax. We don't get the a card that says, "Hey, I'm so glad you ordered from company A, but in order for me to give you company A's box, you actually have to pay us another like $10 or $20 US." We'd be like, "What are you talking about?" We'd be like, "Well, we're certainly not getting company A's box anymore, because that's not going to happen." So
I post about it on LinkedIn complaining.
You would. You probably would.
I'm saying I would, like, if that was the experience, right?
I mean, it would be on Queso, it'd be on LinkedIn, and you'd have an AI generated image. We'd see the whole thing. We'd see it all over the place. So, and I guess what I'm trying to speak to is that, when you look at, if you're first starting, and even if you're, let's say, in that small, medium size range, right, and you're still doing DDU, if you're selling maybe a pair of socks, okay, we can talk about DDU. But if you're on a recurring basis, right, but if you're doing anything where you're truly invested in building on customer experience, DDP is 100% the way to go. Things have advanced greatly when it comes to, the networks that are available for you to use these days as well, compared to what it was, let's say, 10 years ago. So there's many options available. And Jason, I'm glad you brought it up. I think it is very, very important, even on the, and I'd say even maybe more so on the subscription box space than some others, right? So going back to talking about, working on your car and the Amazon mentality, right? Sometimes, people are so excited to receive the products that they order, especially if it's something that, they're just, and maybe it's not a car part that they need, but something that they're really excited to put on their car, right? It's that experience. And then you don't want it to be a poor experience, just actually receiving the product. So, all right, we're going to pivot. Jason, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm ready for everything.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to part 2 of our episode titled Impact of Global Logistics on the Subscriber Experience from Outside the Box with Ascendia USA podcast. Stay tuned for part 3.
Share, subscribe, and download our podcast. To learn more about today's topic or for a free consultation, email us at ecommerce.usa@ascendia.com. Come back for more insightful discussions on e-commerce shipping to Canada, Mexico, and worldwide.